tomorrow we're doing the Egypt trip. We're going to Egypt tomorrow, and I hope you all will join us on our next trip. But then number two, we are tonight, and I'm gonna tell you like this: we're gonna change your life tonight. We about ref in a rockier world. We're gonna take you to another level, and I feel like this is where the revolutions happen. We are the economic version of the Harlem Renaissance right here in this space. Give me a yes if you agree. Let me know if you agree. What cities are you from? State the city you're from. And I want to say hello to Tara Redmond, Natasha, Christina Littles, Eileen. I see you, Jacinta, Parker, Terry Wilson, Margot Stone, Jessica Lindsay, Keith Patillo from the Patillo family. Every time I see the Patillo family, I always think about the vision for what we're doing here in the Black Business School. We are, when they, to steal a term that was used by both Trump and Clinton, we're gonna make Black people great again. And the Patillo family represents that. Your children, I know how great your children are doing. You and your wife have been married for about 30 years now, and you have this structured, powerful institution that I think can be replicated. These are the models that we want to study. So
And I
anyway,
love the Patillos too. Tanya is one of my mentees. I coach her. She was in the Net 7 Collective. And when I tell you they are absolutely amazing, you are 100% on the money.
yes, yes, yes. I mean, yeah, just, these are the templates, these are the blueprints. But anyway, without further ado, let me be quiet and introduce Miss Constance Carter. Constance she is the economic genius that everybody needs to know about. She is not just the queen of real estate, but she understands so many other things. As you all have seen, a lot of you are in Money in the Morning. How many of you come to Money in the Morning? If you're part of Money in the Morning, you know who Constance is, and you saw how amazing her personality is, but also so that emotional intelligence is backed by financial intelligence. It's backed by just raw intellect. And without further ado, I'd like to ask Constance, how you doing today?
I'm so good. I'm so excited. I promise you, I have been excited and looking forward to this all week long. So this is just spectacular. And I'm glad to see all the people that are here welcoming me with open arms. Y'all, I had just went over to the state's attorney's birthday party, and I was in and out in like 10 minutes because I was so excited about getting over here and talking to you all. So I'm just happy to be here.
Wow, that is so cool. You know what's crazy? You talk about just like politicians. I just saw the governor of Maryland
Oh,
doing a whole football practice with the University of Maryland football team. Do you see that?
yeah. He might be the next best thing next after coming up behind Obama. They love him.
Really? Okay.
He's really good, and he's definitely I'm in Maryland right now, you guys, and so they're doing some amazing things out here, and I came at the right time. I'm excited about it. A lot of black wealth here for sure.
Yeah, his name's West something. Is it Westmore? Is that
Wes
right?
Moore, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, wow, okay. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
So I've been really fortunate to be able to be around all those the politicians, and I don't know, God has just placed me in the right places. But I've been fortunate enough to meet him and a lot of the folks who are decision makers here. So it's been really amazing. I get invited to these things. I don't even know how I'm in the room, but I appreciate it.
Well, you know what? You should be in the room, and you are an important woman. You should be in every important room, in my
Thank
opinion.
you.
And if you were running for president, I'd vote for you, whether you were Democrat, Republican, or anything
Even
else.
if
So
I was a Democrat.
whether you, well, you know what? I don't vote for Democrats or
I
Republicans.
know
I'm,
it. I
I'm gonna
know
be
it. But
honest with you.
there was a myth out there, Dr. B, about you and being a Republican and being a Trump supporter. Everybody, they have it all messed up.
No, I'm not voting for nobody. You know what I vote for? I vote for Black people in
That's
every
right.
election through wealth, because I think wealth is the key to our power. I vote
100%.
for my family. I vote
Mm-hmm.
for my wife and kids. That's who I'm voting for. I'm
Yep.
voting for my community. That's who
Yep.
so I ain't got nothing against nobody.
Yep.
People can be whatever party they want, and I make that point real clear.
Yeah.
I respect you, but I need to know what's going to happen for us.
Right.
What we getting out the deal, and once we talk about that, then we could move forward. So what I want to do is kind of just give a precursor. Like, so what do we have in store for tonight? What's about to go down?
So we're going to talk about some real estate. And I'm really excited. I've been in real estate over 20 years and I've helped thousands of people. I've sold a lot of homes, but most importantly, I helped a lot of people build wealth. And so I am excited about introducing some concepts to the audience, the BBS audience tonight. And hopefully we can make some new people, some new millionaires. That's what I'm looking forward to doing.
Right on. All right. Well, What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a quick little statement to everybody and say it's always an honor to speak with you. It's an honor to be on this journey with you. And when I said that point earlier about this being the economic version of the Harlem Renaissance, give me a yes if you agree. Give me a yes if you agree with me that what we're doing right now is special. Like, give me a yes if you agree that what we're doing is legendary. Between Dr. Claude Anderson and some of the great people that are in our space right now that are really getting it done economically. I think this is the economic version of the Harlem Renaissance. I believe we're going to be remembered for several hundred years. We're building legacy. So every move we make is going to be recorded, documented for Black history. It's going to be a blueprint for children of the future. It's going to really set off something that's going to be so great that we can't even imagine it. So I want to encourage you to hold that line, stick to your guns, keep moving forward, keep doing great things with your family, and that's how we're going to be great. So Constance is a person I respect immensely, and I'm very, very happy and honored that you are joining us. And so what I'm going to do is do my job. My next most important job is to shut up and bow out. And I hope everybody will give a quick B1 welcome to Miss Constance Carter. All right. See you guys soon. I'll be listening.
Thank you, Dr. B. Listen, you guys, I'm so excited to be here tonight and talk to you guys about real estate. It's been my passion for the last 20 years. Before I get to my slide, I just want to kind of just share with you who I am and what I'm about. And it's going to be on my slides too. But really, my passion is just helping people, especially Black people. That's been my lifelong passion. When I was in high school, I was the BSU president, and my goal was to close the grade gap because we had a D minus in my school district, and I always want Black people to do better. And so I did a TED talk about back in 2020, and I talked about ways to close the wealth gap. And if you see my TED talk, let me know, put it in the chat. But and so I talk about closing the wealth gap, and that's been my passion, and real estate being the number one way to close the wealth gap. I know that there are ways that everybody on this call is able to partake and start to build generational wealth. So I want to let me get into it. Let me go ahead and share my screen and talk to you about how to diversify and dominate with different and multi properties and investments. So before I get into the meat and the potatoes, I just want to tell you who I am, because many of you guys don't know me. I've been working with Dr. B I've been knowing Dr. Boyce Watkins for years. And, of course, like a lot of you, I was a fan. I listened to the things that he said. I took his advice. And just so you know, my son, and I wish I should have put the video on here, but my son, let me tell you, back in my son is 20 now, about 8 years ago, I bought him the Dr. Boyce Watkins stock trading program. And I have 4 children. I bought it for all 4 of my children. And I said, okay, whichever one of you guys take this training, I'm going to give you $1,000 each. And the only one, my daughter was 17, my son was 12. My other 2 were a little bit younger than that, because they're all my boys are 2 years apart. And, the only one who was really excited about it was my son, Warren. He was 12 years old. He took the training, and I gave him $1,000, and he turned that $1,000 into $8,000. And it took him about 2 years to do that. And then, a few years later, back in 2020, he took my $7,000 stock portfolio, and he made $40,000 in a matter of 3 months. So I really believe in what Dr. B and the Black Business School has been doing, and the impact, because I am a living witness of the impact that this community has made on my life. And I know it's made a huge impact on so many of yours. So that's why I'm so excited about being affiliated and being right here in the room with all of you today. Now, first, let me just congratulate you all for being in the room, because I have a PhD, a public high school diploma. So I'm not the smartest tool in the shed, nor am I the most educated. But one of the things that I do is I invest in myself. I've took trainings for at least 20 years, just pouring into myself, because I understand that I'm my biggest commodity and I'm my biggest investment. And so you taking the time tonight on Thursday night. It's 5:30 on the West Coast. It's 8:30 on the East Coast, and you are spending your time here trying to learn something. You're a mile ahead of the game, because most people are not going to take the time to invest in themselves, whether it's financially, whether it's physically, or whatever. So I want you guys to give yourself a round of applause in the chat right now for taking the time. So go ahead and clap it up for yourselves for just being here tonight. And and taking the time to educate yourself. And for those of you guys who are raising your hands, I'll do a Q&A at the end. So I'll be answering questions at the end. You could actually put any questions that you have in the Q&A, but please, please, please don't raise your hand right now, because I'll be answering questions at the end. So thank you guys. Just being in the room is everything. I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on my own personal and professional development because I know how important it is. And I've made millions of dollars as a result of doing that. So let me just go through my presentation, the slides, because I want to introduce you to myself, and I want to tell you a little bit about who I am. Let me go back, so are you going to work for me? All right. Come on, slides. Okay. So a little bit about myself. I'm a real estate broker. I built the largest Black-owned real estate firm in California. I help thousands of people. I had over $500 million in personal real estate sales. And then my real estate team has also had, hundreds and millions of dollars in sales. I'm a cannabis investor. Yes, I am a cannabis investor. I got in that by being the right person in the right place at the right time. I was very intentional about my investment in cannabis. What I know to be true is that millions of Black men, or hundreds of thousands of Black men, were locked up for that, and then they legalized it, and then white men started making a lot of money, millions and billions of dollars in cannabis. And I said, I want a seat at the table. And so when an opportunity presented itself to me, I went ahead and invested. But guess what I did? I took my real estate investments, because that's what you do. You use your leverage. So I started investing in real estate, and then I took my real estate investment, and then I invested in cannabis. And so I was able to make that 6-figure investment into my cannabis dispensary, which yields me a great return, which actually I have in a trust fund for my children. So these are the things that I'm going to be teaching you how to do, is use your leverage to invest in other things. That's extremely important. You want to be able to diversify and have multiple revenue streams. I mentioned to you that I'm a TEDx speaker. I have a TEDx that did over about 430,000 views, and it's one of the best TEDx that I've ever seen. It's called Google That Shit. And again, it's about my passion in closing the wealth gap. And that's my lifelong ministry, is closing the wealth gap, because there was an article in 2017 that said by the year 2053, Black median wealth was going to be a zero. How many people know that they're predicting, based upon the trajectory that we're going, that our net worth is going to be a zero in 2053? That's what they're saying about us. And they have all these various ways. However, Opal said she saw that TED Talk. Thank you, Opal. But you know what? And I'm not going to cuss tonight. I normally cuss, but I love God too. They didn't mess around and gave us the internet. And so now we have access to all the information in the world. So that's why I call it Google That Shit, because we have access at our fingertips to be able to close. They didn't mess around and gave us information. They gave you me, and they gave me you. So there's no way we're going to go down that road to having a zero net worth by the year 2053. Okay. I'm a coach and a trainer. I speak all over. And one of my most favorite things to do is educate people. Educate Black people specifically. Okay. I'm an international speaker. I speak here and across the pond. And I've been on stages all over the place. I have a few best-selling books, so I'm a best-selling author. And actually, after Dr. B and I talked about doing this training together, I actually updated one of my books, and so I'm getting ready to roll out to you all first the newest edition of my #1 bestseller, which was Keeping Score, and that has a lot of the new credit updates, but that was a bestseller of mine. And so for those of you who are going to be in the program, you guys are going to get a copy of the book Keeping Score. But most importantly, y'all, I'm a wealth activist. What do I mean when I say I'm a wealth activist? My goal and my mission is to help Black people to build wealth. I don't care about nothing else that they say about us. I feel like I'm the Harriet Tubman of wealth. I could have freed 1,000 more if y'all just knew y'all was slaves. Yeah, yeah. So, but that's my mission and my goal in life. That's my purpose work now. I built this great real estate company. Oh yeah, you know what? You know what else I do? I'm a rapper. If you guys were on Dr. B's thing the other day, and listen, Dr. B told me to share this with y'all. I didn't really want to, but I do got some bars. Anybody want to see? Anybody want to see I got bars? Has anybody saw my little? And this is there's actually a full 4-minute video with me and a few ladies from my team. But this is, y'all want to see my? Okay, a few of y'all seen it. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all see it.
change your life. Come see me, yo. I'm gonna teach you how to build a wealth with your family, not just research a bestseller, house flipper, a businesswoman, a goal getter, a big investor, a goal builder. I can teach you how to get richer like millions, baby. You ready to fill your savings? You better have multiple streams. Impact your children, baby. That can teach you get your credit on track in the long run. You'll make it all back. We had a list of black gold firm,
But we ain't all black. Y'all, so this is the video that Dr. B was talking about. I see y'all putting in the comments, Sugar Rocks. Don't be trying to clown me, but yeah, my rap name back in 7th grade was Sugar Rocks. Okay. And a lot of people when people have seen that video, it's gotten a lot of views and people are like, oh, you got that fake money, but that goes back to the cannabis. That's actually real money. So I used to get, they wouldn't, when they would pay us for our cannabis investment, we couldn't get paid in the bank. So they would just give me cash. So I would go to my dispensary, y'all. I'll go up in there, I'd have a little bag and I would go in there and get my money and I would take off running to my car. So I would just have all these pictures of me, and I never post on the internet. I had these pictures of me showing my money, but no, that's actually real money that was in my safe. I don't keep my money in no safe no more, but that was money. So I was like, oh, you know what? I should bring out, some money from my safe for the video. And that's what I did. So that's actually real money. That's not fake money, but that's cannabis investment that I got because I was doing real estate investment. So I use leverage, and we're going to talk a lot about how to use your leverage so that you could have multiple revenue streams because you want to diversify your portfolio. One of the reasons why the wealth gap is so wide is because when Black people do invest, they invest singularly. And so we need to make sure that we're investing in multiple things so that we can have the wealth and we can keep the wealth and then we can spread the wealth. And the whole purpose is so that we can create these legacies for our families. And that's the thing that we really, really, really want to do. All right. Can I get a B1? Can I get a B1? Yes. All right. So listen, where is my next slide? So what? Come on, slide. This is actually a new thing that I'm doing right now. This maybe, oh, there we go. All right. So the real estate company, Catalyst Real Estate Professionals, again, that I built, amazing company. One of the things that I did is I had to transition my company. And so I moved to the East Coast and I worked really hard, y'all. I worked really, really hard. First one in, last one out. I don't know if you've known me for any period of time, my motto was nobody works harder than Constance Carter. If anybody knows me, my motto was I don't want to work hard no more. And so I figured out ways so that I could work smarter and not harder. And so I reduced my team and I'm now I'm a wealth strategist. What does that mean? I work with high income producing individuals to procure their wealth portfolio through real estate. So I work with individuals who have a high net worth and I help them to build out their real estate portfolio. And I show them and I strategize with them the best ways that they can build their real estate portfolio. And so we talk about different strategies and they pay me handsomely for it. So that's one of the things that I do now. While I still, I'm a licensed broker in DC, Maryland, Virginia, and California. I own a mortgage company. I still have a team that does mortgages and I still do credit, but specifically I will work with high net worth individuals. The other thing I do is I work with Black women from all over the country and I'm showing them different ways on how they can increase their wealth portfolio as well to increase their net worth to over $1 million. And that's through a program that I have called the Net 7. So those are my two focuses now. And so when I talked to Dr. B and we talked about, well, what are some ways that we can really work together to enhance the B1 community to bring a whole new level of information? What's the gap? What are we missing? What can we do to really change their lives? And he and I decided together, let's bring a real estate program in so that we can really help, because real estate being the number one way to build wealth in this family. I don't know if you know that 80% of wealth is generated through real estate. Okay. 90% of wealth in this country is passed intergenerationally. Guess what? We weren't able to take advantage of a lot of the wealth building opportunities because we were shut out. They've done things specifically to keep us out of the wealth building opportunities. Okay. So I've always done business very differently. And that's the reason why I've been so blessed in my business, because America is so racist. I've always done business very different. I've done business transformationally, not transactionally. But let me just tell you a little bit about myself. I'm gonna go through my journey, and at the end, I want to talk to you about an opportunity. So if you put in the chat, just let me know if you're okay with me presenting an opportunity to work with me like I work with these other people, these high net worth individuals. I want to work with you. And this is what I talked to Boyce about. So if you can just put a yes in the chat after we talk about sort of some of the principles of real estate, I want to talk to you about how I could work with you. Okay, cool. I have your permission. Yay, thank you. So listen, you guys, look at that house right there. I bought that house in 1999. I was 23 years old. That's not too shabby for a first house, for a 23-year-old, right? That was my very first house. So I purchased my house when I was 3 years old. And I was living in San Jose, California. I'm from the Silicon Valley. I was living in San Jose, and my ex-husband, my husband at the time, he said, we should buy a house. And so I said, okay. So he took me an hour and a half to this place that I really didn't have a whole lot of information about. It was called Stockton, California. And he took me there, and we started looking at properties, and we started working with some real estate agents, and we had horrible experience. There are a lot of bad agents out there. There's a lot of good agents, but there are a lot of bad agents out there. And we just happen to have a bad agent. We lost out, money on, a property. We got sued for another property. This particular property was a foreclosure, and this lady put us in this property, and she didn't take care of us. She didn't look out for our best interest. And it was such a horrifying experience. I didn't want anybody else to go through the same thing that I went through. So I commuted for a few more years. My background is in IT, and I was commuting, an hour and a half, 2 hours every day, back to the Bay Area, back to the Silicon Valley. At my job, I had a job at HP. In IT, and then I went to Cisco Systems, but I was commuting, and I had a small baby, and I was just getting bigger and bigger and commuting, and I would think every day that I was going to die, just being on that road, and it was so stressful. And so I started to get my real estate license, and then the dot-com bubble burst. Thank God. How many people know that when things happen to you, they're really happening for you? How many of you guys know that every time something that you think is devastating that happens to you, it actually happens for you? So the dot-com bubble bursted. I lost my job, but I was already on my way to get my real estate license. And so I got a little bit of a severance package. And we planned. We knew that the layoff was coming, and so we planned. I had 3 months of severance. And so I was excited that my last day coming home from that 2-hour commute, I knew I wasn't ever going to have to do it again. And I come home, and I'm excited. My husband and I had already talked about kind of the plans of what we're going to do. We're going to use my money for this, his money for that. And when I got home, I was excited, and I was like, honey, I'm home. And he had this look on his face. And I'm like, what happened? Back then I didn't have a cell phone. So, he didn't call me. And he said, I got laid off. So the day that I came home, on my last day of work, we already had our plan of how we were going to do it. He didn't have no job. I didn't have no job. So it was hustle time. And so it was like, okay, it's do or die. I had to just go all in. There was no plan Bs. I knew I couldn't go back to going back over that. It was called the Altamont Express. I couldn't go back going over that Altamont. I couldn't go back to commuting. This had to work. Nothing else. There was no plan Bs. This was it. And so, I sent everybody an email, everybody that I knew. I'm like, yo, I'm in real estate. And I wish I had the email in front of me. I think it's in one of my books, The Secret to Breaking the Broke Code. But I sent out an email to everybody I know. And I said, I'm in real estate. If you need to buy or sell a house, let me know. And I remember somebody said to me, why did you get into real estate? And I said, I just want to help people. That was my response. I just wanted to help people. I knew what it did for me, what real estate, the potential of what real estate was able to do for me. But I also knew that the horrifying experience that I had that I didn't want anybody else to have. And so I started, and again, the things that happen to you actually happen for you, because I didn't do real estate like everybody else did. I became a top producer relatively quickly. So I got licensed at 26. I made about $50,000 that year, $70,000. And then the next year, there was no year that I made under $100,000 in real estate. No year. So 27 on up, I never made anything under $100,000. But that's because I did real estate very differently. But how many of you guys know that the more money you make, the more problems you can have if you don't know what it is that you're doing, right? So more money, more problems. So at 30, I started investing in investment properties. I didn't fully understand what I was doing. I didn't fully understand about the interest rates. That's when the neg-am loans were happening. The interest-only loans were happening. We were getting balloon payments. More money I made, I was getting the Mercedes. I was getting the properties. We were living the life. By this time, I'm making over $200,000 a year. And then I got stuck holding the bag. I short sold some properties, I foreclosed some properties, and I lost over $1 million in equity in real estate. I'm making almost $250,000, y'all. And I had to file bankruptcy. Listen, there was people didn't know. I had gotten a new house, moved from that first house. So we're in our second house, and so we built it from the ground up. And there was agents coming to my house, not knowing that it was me, top producer, making all this money. They were coming to my house saying, "Hey, I just came over to short sell your house before it went into foreclosure, because I'm on the foreclosure list like everybody else." I had more month than money, making $25,000 a month, but I had more month than money. My ex-husband had to go stand in line to get our utilities paid. You know how the nonprofits pay utility? I wasn't gonna do it. He did it. There were times that we took my kids to the fair. We couldn't even buy all four of them a day pass. I was making $250,000 a year, and we had more month than money. I had to file bankruptcy. I had a 379 credit score. Rock credit bottom. That was me. Again, I want you to put in the chat, how many of you know that when things happen to you, they are happening for you? I use my hardships as a blueprint so that I could help other people. So I'm grateful for the 379 credit score. I'm grateful for the short sales, the foreclosures. I'm great. Y'all, listen. I was actually at this time, this is before I opened up my company, I was a manager at another company. I had my Mercedes, and I told the people, I said, listen, I'm gonna leave my Mercedes in the parking lot. Don't come during normal business hours, please. I'm gonna leave the keys in there. Y'all come after 6 o'clock. Please don't come while everybody's there. I'm making all this money, and me making $250,000, I was no better than somebody that was making $50,000 or $25,000, because I had more month than money. I had more going out than I had coming in. And then on top of that, y'all, I messed around and had a baby in 2008 with no insurance. So now I have this $50,000 bill for a medical bill. I have all these bills. I have bill collectors calling me. I have the people everything. This picture of this lady right here, that was me, frustrated. I didn't know what to do. So I filed bankruptcy. And when I tell you that was probably one of the best things that I had ever done, was go to file bankruptcy. It was embarrassing, but when I went into bankruptcy court, I went in there and I was frightened. And at this time, everybody's filing bankruptcy, you guys. So I go in there and I'm seeing the people in and out. Boom, boom, boom. They ask them a question, they out. They ask them, I'm like, okay, this is easy breezy. So I go in there, I sit in front of the judge, and they're asking me questions. Now they're drilling me because they're looking at my bank statement. They see all this money going in. So I'm up there for 15 minutes and they are grilling me for 15 minutes. And I'm answering the questions because they're like, well, what's this? Well, what's this? We see you got this. And I'm answering the questions. And my attorney was there, and afterwards, she was like, I was so scared for you. But I answered them with grace and ease because I wasn't lying. I ain't had no money. But they said that my bankruptcy was we were good. They approved it. I walked out, and the sun was shining, and the birds were singing, and it was a beautiful, beautiful day. So what did I do? I changed my whole thought process. You know, Stockton. It was the 2008 Stockton, California, which is where I was at. It was the epicenter for foreclosures. So I was right there. Stockton had filed bankruptcy a few years later. I think San Bernardino had filed for bankruptcy. So afterwards, when I looked at it, it was a business decision. I had to look at it as a business decision. I had to restructure. Your former president had to file bankruptcy, and I mean, it was just the thing that a lot of people were doing. And I do have a rule of thumb about bankruptcy and whether you should file or not. I believe that if it takes you over 2 years to pay off your debt, and you have looming debt, if it takes you over 2 years to pay it off, bankruptcy is not a bad idea, because you can be in a home within the next 2 years. So if it's going to take you 5 years to pay off that debt, and your credit's going to be messed up for 5 years, maybe you should file bankruptcy. Within a year, you could probably be back up to 700. Within 2 years, you could be purchasing property. But guess what, y'all? In 2010, Catalyst Real Estate Professionals was born. The year after I filed bankruptcy, I opened up Catalyst Real Estate Professionals, and I opened up with 8 women, diverse group of women, Black, Hispanic, white, Asian, and we came out the gate killing it. We were within the top 10 within the first year, and we went on to just grow and be build to the largest Black-owned real estate firm in California. But the reason why we were able to do that is because I always did business transformational and not transactional. What do I mean by that? Real estate is sales. I'm not a salesperson. I never looked at myself as a salesperson. And every job that I've ever had, it's always been the way I was able to justify myself and going over that Altamont for that 2-hour commute every day was, I'm helping somebody. So I had to look at it like that. And in order for me to be fulfilled in anything, it has to be purposeful. And so I did my business transformational and not transactional. It wasn't about the sale to me, because what you're taught in real estate, just like most sales, is call 100 people, get 10 appointments, close 2 deals. That's not how I worked. I didn't work for the transaction. I worked to help people. And most of my people look like the people who are on this call today. Most of the people that I helped were families, were young couples. I was 23 when I bought my first house. So putting people on these plans so that they could start building their wealth portfolio is what I did. I did it in a very minor way at the time. I was just trying to help everybody get into homes. If I'm gonna help you, I help your cousin, I help your grandmama, I help your auntie, I help your friends. And so I just had this huge business of referrals, because they're like, hey, Constance helped me. And, it'll be people that just look just like you. And they see those people and they're like, wait a minute, if she could do it, I could do it. Wait, she got a job. She don't make that much money. Oh man, her credit's messed up. Oh, Constance can help me with my credit. Yes, all of that. And so I created this business that was transformational and not transactional. And then I didn't recruit people to be on my team. I attracted them. And so people who had the same mindset as me, who just wanted to help people, they started coming to work for me. And that's how we just built. I didn't have to recruit, I attracted. And so people wanted to be a part of a team of people who really, really cared about people. I really, really love people for real life. That's how I'm so fulfilled, because I really do love people, and I really, really do love Black people. And so my life has just been one big ball of fulfillment, because I've always been able to walk in my purpose. So we built this amazing company. That video you seen, that was a few of my agents. And funny story about that video, the 222, one of my agents, Taisha, she was actually going to do the rap. And then so she was like, hey, Constance, want to join me? And I was like, yeah. My ass, I just hijacked her whole little rap. I started inviting other people. Now I'm directing the video. She asked me to do all that, but I did. So therefore, I felt bad. I was like, hey, Todd, I feel bad. She's like, no, she's so sweet. But I just hijacked the whole damn video. But that's how that was birthed. And like I said, I developed a more transformational approach. After bankruptcy, I became a certified credit expert. So I learned everything. So my life has really been about education and then regurgitation. So I educate myself, but everything I have, I pour it into the people that I work with. So with me working with the Net 7 Collective or whoever I work with, I give you everything that I know. I'm just a chick from San Jose, California. I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. In fact, we had 19 people living in a 3-bedroom house that was meant for a family of 5. The struggle was real growing up. I didn't come up with anything special. I just happened to make some good decisions. And I know that if I can come from the place that I came from, you can too. And so that's the reason why I did it, because I know that we are resilient people, y'all. We've been through so much that if I can get here not being the smartest person, I know you can too. So I just try to learn as much as I can so that I can share the wealth. So after bankruptcy, I became a certified credit expert. I wrote several books. I got a few books around here somewhere. I don't know. I should have had them up here, but they were bestsellers. So if you have my book, let me know in the comments. But my books are very, very easy, very simple to read, but they're super transformational. You can go to Amazon and look at the reviews. And then I also added lending to our portfolio. And so we were all encompassing. And so here's the thing about that. Let me tell you, first of all, the way I built my company, when I first started in real estate, I remember, just being so thirsty for knowledge. And I would see, I went to work. I went to go work for the big name. So I went to go work for Prudential. And I was like, okay, the people who are in the offices, they obviously are the top producers. So I go and sit down with all the top producers. Well, what did you do? Well, what did you do? What did you do to get this office? How did you become a top producer? And I remember there was one lady who I went and talked to, and she was a top producer. She was at Prudential, then she went to Keller Williams, she went to Coldwell Banker, and then she came to work for me. She was a white lady. And it was so funny because she said that people, her friends and people she used to work with, were like, why do you work for that black company? And she said, because I made more money here than I've ever made with Prudential, Coldwell Banker, Keller Williams, or anywhere else. And it was so funny because she said, Constance, people are still really racist. I'm sure you knew that, girlfriend. But she told me that. She was like, they asked me why I work for this black company. And it's so funny because she left my company and she went to go work for a white guy because she thought, okay, if I align myself with this white guy, maybe I'll make more money. And she soon found out that she didn't. And she came back and she started buying all my books, and and she said, somebody was like, you're drinking a Constance Carter Kool-Aid. She said, it tastes good too. Because I provided a way that they can make more money than they ever made by working for me. And we had the best interest rates with our in-house lending because we did everything. We didn't have to get rich off of one deal. See, the way lenders work, if you don't know, the higher interest rate that they give you, the more money they get paid. So we didn't take higher interest rates because we were already making money on the real estate side. So we didn't have to get rich off of one deal. We were able to provide the best rate possible, and we were able to get you the best deal possible and negotiate. And if your credit was effed up, we helped you with that too. So we were a full service company, and we helped you from end to end. That's how I created this great company. These are the things that I did with the clients, and these are the things that I showed my agents how to do. But here's the thing. Oh, and so wealth, 72%. And this was our mission at Catalyst. And if you go to our website, you'll see that wealth gap is really wide. But I want you guys, really quick, Black people, I want you to give yourselves a round of applause. 80% of wealth in this country is generated through real estate. Okay. 72% of white people own real estate, 44% of Black people, 50% African Americans, 63% of Asians. We're at the bottom, but that's not a bad thing, because nobody on this list has gone through what we've gone through. Nobody faced 150 years of enslavement. Nobody had Jim Crow. Nobody had redlining in the way that we have. They specifically put barriers in place so that we could not take advantage of wealth building opportunities. And yet 44% of us are still homeowners. We are resilient people, brothers and sisters. And so I really believe that we can get that number up. With everything, you would think 100% of white people were homeowners because they've had no obstacles. 44% of us are homeowners in spite of all the roadblocks, all the obstacles, all the predatory lending. Yet 44% of us. And there are several banks still out there today that have been fined. And I've talked about it on my podcast. Several big banks, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, all the big banks are still being fined in 2023. I haven't even done any research as of 2024 because of predatory lending practices. So it's important that not only you're working with somebody that looks like you, but somebody that you know that's going to look out for your best interest. Okay? So we are a resilient people, y'all. I love us. 44% of us, that's the glass half full, not half empty. And it's going to go up. And because real estate is the number one way to growing your wealth, we are going to not only close that wealth gap, we are going to exceed that wealth gap, y'all. Are you guys with me? How many of you guys want to prove them people wrong? We are not going to be a zero. How many people are with me? How many people are going to prove that study wrong, that we are not going to? Yes, yes. Yes, come on. Yes, yes. We are going to prove them wrong. Talked about redlining and all those things. So let's talk about why you need real estate. Okay, so let me share with you one of the things that I've done for my children is two of my children. I wish I should have shared the video. Two of my children are homeowners. So I have 4 kids. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, I love all the activity, y'all. Y'all giving me life. You really, really are. Y'all giving me life. So I have 4 children. One just graduated. One graduated from Hampton. One is in Hampton, getting ready to transfer. He better transfer to Howard. He better say yes. He has to make a decision. One getting ready to go to Howard. He's at Hampton right now. One getting ready to go to Jackson State, and then one is a junior in college. And so my 2 oldest kids, my daughter, by the time she was 22, had her second property. My son, when he was 18, I gave him the keys to his first property. And so some of these properties, actually not these properties, but I've had properties before. My daughter finished school debt free, real estate. Okay. So listen, when most of us graduate from college, 86% of Black people end up having student loan debt. We just don't have the money. So you can use real estate as a method to help you pay your children's college tuition. How many of you guys want to know? How many of you guys you want to have something to help you pay for your? If my kids ain't handle scholarships now, my son, he getting some money from Howard if he makes a decision. Y'all, somebody got to talk to him. Somebody got to talk to him. He talking about because right now they just gave him this offer, and so they don't have a housing right now for him. So I live in Maryland. It's a commute. He's like, well, anyway, he don't want to go because he's talking about he got to commute for 40 minutes. So I want to slap him upside the face. They giving him money to go to Howard because my son this is the one who did the stock. He's really cold with the pen. He's a great writer. So they saw his essay. They were like, yes. Anyway, 86% of our children graduate from college with student loan debt. So we need to be able to pay off our college tuition, and real estate can really help you to be able to do that. Thank you. I sure hope you pray for me because you better pray for him. I'm gonna kick his ass if you don't. All right. We want to provide opportunities for our families that we don't necessarily have access to. Real estate has done so well for me. You know, I was flipping houses. I was paying cash, flipping houses. I'm still flipping houses right now. Now I'm flipping houses in DC. But that created this life for me where I have a life where I can live on my own terms. I can get up and then go where I want to go. I can do what I want to do. It gives you access to certain things. So having these investments, having these multiple revenue streams, I can go to different places. I can meet different people. I can invest in myself. That gives me access to other things. I have so many great friends who are thought leaders in all over the country, but that's just by virtue of me having access and proximity. And that's because I've invested in my business, which in turn allowed me to invest in myself and to be in these places. Suppose you need to retire. I think 61% of Black households don't have a retirement plan in place. Imagine you having property that's going to help you during your retirement years. But not only that, there are other avenues that if you're not already prepared for your retirement, we're going to talk about that, how you can prepare and how you can use real estate as leverage so that you can compare and generate compound interest. Do you guys know what compound interest is? Einstein said compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. Ray Kroc from McDonald's used compound interest. The Rockefellers use compound interest. Those who know about it earn from it. They make money from it. Those who don't, they pay for it. Most of us are living our lives paying compound interest and not earning it. Well, how about you learn about real estate investment and then you learn to leverage, use your equity as leverage to generate compound interest. There's so many things. And again, these are all the things that I do that I just want to share with you. Okay. So y'all, it is your time. How many of you know that it's your time? You see, I got a Black couple there, but I don't care how old you are. I'm almost 50. Somebody said I'm in my 50s. It is your time. As long as you still have breath in your body, you can make the transition. It is your time. I have women that I coach right now who are in their 60s that are putting together their wealth portfolio, their retirement, and they're on the way, and they're able to retire in the next several years because they realize that as long as I have breath in my body, I can do whatever it is I want to do. Number one, you got to have the belief that you deserve it. How many of you believe that you deserve it? Anybody in here believe that you deserve it? If you are a child of God, you own a cattle. He owns a cattle on 1,000 hills. That means you are entitled to everything that this world has to offer. Yeah, you deserve it. How many of you are ready to receive it? I want to know how many of you are ready to receive it. If you are the right person in the right place and it is the right time, say me. Yeah, I love it. But here's the thing. You have to be obsessed about your success. How many of you? So if you read the book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, he interviewed thousands of entrepreneurs, thousands of millionaires. And he asked them, how they got to be rich. One of the things is they were obsessed with their success. They ate, slept, breathed, drink. They did everything that they could to get there. The problem with 99% of the people that are out there is they're not willing to stretch themselves and get uncomfortable to do the things that they need to do in order to obtain whatever it is that they need to obtain. Just by virtue, though, of you guys being on this call, and I don't know how many people are on this call right now, but just by virtue of you guys being here right now tells me that you were obsessed with your success, that you're obsessed with your family success, that you're obsessed with just making a change and making a difference in your life. You are here to learn something tonight. That means you are already a mile ahead of the game. You have the knowledge base because you're pouring in yourself. Now you got to just make financial decisions in order to position you to get to that space where you can get that real estate. Ooh, I love it. I'm getting chills. I'm getting goosebumps just looking at your comments. Yes. So let me just tell you, how do we get there? You got to build a team. Okay. So this is not just, I'm not talking about just buying a house. I want to help you to set up your real estate portfolio, but you got to have a team. You got to have an agent. You got to have a lender. You got to have a contractor. You got to have a credit specialist. If you need some help with your credit, you have to have inspectors, but you have to know how to properly vet them because all agents aren't created equal. I was just talking about this today. I was just talking about this to somebody today. Most agents are just there to sell the houses and they don't know anything about the loan process. They don't know anything other than I need to show you houses. I know how to write this contract. I know how to do these disclosures and I'm going to close this deal. But they don't know how to strategically plan for your wealth plan. They don't. They don't know how to strategize the best approach strictly for you. They don't know your financial strengths and limitations because they only do real estate. So you have to make sure that you have the proper people on your team so that you can get there. Okay. All loan officers and lenders aren't created equal because they don't understand your personal goals. They don't understand the real estate part. They don't have knowledge. They don't know how to help you to analyze a deal. So you have to have somebody on your team and you have to know how to properly vet those people on your team to ensure that you are getting optimal results. Somebody's in the chat say optimal results. Please say optimal results. I need optimal results. I don't need mediocre results. I don't need average results. I need, yes, optimal results. Yes. You got to have the right credit specialist. Now, listen, you guys, listen, Black people. This is the problem we have. On average, we have a 671 credit score. And I know some of you in here got an 800, 850 credit score. So shout out to you. Some of you got a 379 like me. Some of you got a 400, 500. Some of you got a 620. Our average credit score as Black people is 671. Okay. That's not a bad thing, but it's certainly not good, especially when every other ethnicity is in the 700 clubs. We got to get our stuff together. Okay. So most credit specialists, if you've gone through credit repair, and I've been through credit repair, only thing they do is they do the spray and pray. They dispute everything, see what's going to stick, see what's not going to stick. Here's the thing about credit. Many people who use credit repair, 78% of people who use credit repair companies, they end up getting back in financial credit ruin again. But if you learn the strategies and how to do it yourself, if you learn how to fish, then you will never get into credit ruin again. Because you can leverage some things, you can move some things around. There's just tips and things that you can do today that'll help you to avoid. Let me share a story with you. There was this lady. She actually went to church with me, and she called me. She was like, "Constance, I'm ready to buy a house." I was like, "Okay, cool. Let me pull your credit." So I pull her credit, and her credit score is like maybe in the 400s, maybe even in the 300s. It was super low. And I'm looking at her credit profile. I'm like, it's not bad. She just had a few credit cards, and she was late on her credit cards. And your credit card revolving balance. So first of all, your credit pie, 35% of your credit is your payment history. So how have you been paying? Have you been paying on time? Yes, no. 30% of your credit is your credit card balances, your revolving credit balances. Then you have 15% your history, 10% your credit mix, 10% your inquiries. Okay. So people be thinking, oh, don't pull my credit gonna drop 50 points. It's only 10%. This lady, her credit score was super low. And I'm looking, but her credit wasn't bad. She didn't have no collections. She just had slow pays on her credit cards. These were $300 credit cards, $25 payments, right? She was maxed out. She was over the limit and she was late. And I'm like, yo, so I have the simulator that I can use to tell you exactly what will happen to your credit score if you do certain things. I have a simulator. So I put her through the simulator, and had she not been late on these little bitty credit cards, had she not been maxed out, her score would have been she would have had 300 points. And I'm like, so I call her up and I'm like, well, why were you late? That's what she said. No joke. I didn't know I was supposed to be on time, Constance. I was just out here living my best life. How many people this is a 20, and I just wanted to choke her through the phone. She didn't know these were $25 payments. She was paying them when she paid them. They got paid. She was just a little late. $25 ruined her credit. Her credit score could have been 300 points more, and $25 ruined her credit. So it's things like that. Just getting educated on the little things, man. If you don't have $200 or $300, maybe you just pay the minimum, and at least you won't be late. You might be, a little overextended, but it's okay. You're not going to be late. So there's little things that you can do. All contractors aren't. Let me tell you how many times I got it ripped off from contractors, and I'm in the business. So for you, the consumer, it's important that you properly vet your contractors. Each law has different rules. Contractors, especially, and I really know contractors in California, they're only supposed to be getting $1,000 or 10% up front. These jokers try to get a whole 50%. They want you to pay for them. You're not supposed to do all of that stuff. And if you don't know, you don't know what you don't know. And if you don't know, and they can get over. And then if you pay them too much, then they don't show up. My property in DC right now that I'm flipping, I can't find a contractor. I got to hire another contractor. And so these people, and again, I'm in the business. I'm on them every day. And then all of a sudden they just fall off. They just fell off. And so you have to know how to properly vet these contractors to make sure that you don't pay him too much. This particular guy, talk about he's in the hospital or whatever. I don't know where he's at, but you just never know. But you have to make sure that you have the right people on your team. Okay. And then your home inspectors. Now, if you are going to purchase a property, if you're going to invest in real estate, it's important that you get an inspection. Inspection is going to cost you a few $100s. But listen, I'm in the process of purchasing a property right now, right? Let me tell you what just happened to me. So I'm in a process of purchasing a property. I'm taking this property. I'm getting a great deal. So I'm taking it as is. I'm like, yo, I don't care. I'll take it as is because I'm getting a great deal. I just need to make sure that my inspection, that I know what's going on with the house. I'm going in and I know. I don't even care what it is. I just need to know. So I don't know anybody out here. I'm new out here. So the agent on the other side, she recommends a home inspector for me. So I pull up with my son so he can see the house. He's all excited. And we pull up behind the home inspector. And this Negro is 85 years old, not the house. And I'm like, how? And I'm looking at my son like, how in the hell is this man going to really thoroughly inspect this house? You got to go underneath the buildings. You got to go in the attic. You got to do all this stuff that's physical. And this man was barely hobbling out the car. So I'm just like, you got to be kidding me. So we go through the inspection. And just like I thought, He was not, he was just turning on water. He didn't report nothing. And then at the end, I'm asking him questions and he had the nerve to act like I was bothering him. I'm like, you didn't even go to the attic. Oh, you wanted me to go to the attic? Yes, I wanted you to go to the attic. You didn't even go to the bed. Oh, you wanted me? Yes. So needless to say, I did not pay him, hired another inspector, had him out there a couple of days later, and he thoroughly inspected the property. But if you're not seasoned, you won't know. So I would have gone into this property not knowing that there were a bunch of these issues, and I knew that there were issues, but this man didn't properly inspect. And so it's important that you have the proper inspectors on your team to ensure that you know what it is that you're getting yourself into. And these are also ways that you can negotiate, because, you know, all properties typically are sold as is, as disclosed, right? So even if they say, oh, this is as is, if things come up on the inspection, these are things that you can still negotiate in the contract, but these are things that you need to know. Okay. So, oh, now I want to do one by one. So here's some of the things that I'm helping my clients do. They're buying land for a couple of $100s. Okay. Did you know that you could buy land for just a few $100s all over? Usable land that you could build on, land that you could turn around and flip and sell. I also have other clients who are buying property abroad. And with everything that's going on politically, that might not be a bad idea. Okay. Yeah, you could buy land for $200. Yes, yes, yes. All over. You could purchase multi-units with very little money down. And I'm not sure if you know, but there are programs out there. You can get down payment assistance, or you can come in with 3.5% down. You can utilize the rent from the other units to help you qualify. You can get that positive cash flow. Let me tell you, and if you have a VA, I love veterans. Oh my God. I had a client that purchased a fourplex. Now he's a VA buyer, comes in with no money down. Okay. This is a VA buyer. He don't got no money down. He already has other property, he has other land. He buys his fourplex. No money down. At the time, it was $300,000. This is a few years ago. It was $300,000, and his payment was $1,800. No money out of pocket. He didn't have to pay for appraisal. 3 of the units were occupied, and at the time, his rent was $1,000 on each unit. So he has $3,000 positive cash flow coming in the door. He put no money down. His mortgage payment was $1,800. So automatically he goes in, he's cash flowing. How much is he cash flowing, y'all? How much is he cash flowing? $3,000 cash flow, $3,000 rental income, $1,800 mortgage payment. He's cash flowing $1,200. A year later, he raises the rent, but let's just say, just for the sake of keeping the number simple, he puts a tenant in that other unit. He raises the rent on all of them, but he just say he kept it at $1,000. That's $4,000 in rental income he's getting. He put no money in. Now he has his mortgage payment is $1,800. Now how much is he cash flowing? Come on, math geniuses. $2,200. The man put no money down. There's things that you can do, especially if you're a veteran, but even if you're not a veteran, there's other programs you can get in with very, very little money down and go in and be cash flowing. Yes. So there's opportunities out there. Here's the thing about the opportunities though. Number one, a lot of people don't know about them, but a lot of times we're scared, and it's not scary, because you know what? Scared money don't make money. So if you're not willing to take that risk in order to get there, then you'll never be able to do it. Now, I've had risks where I've lost thousands of dollars. I ain't even gonna front. But the biggest risks that I've made have made me millions of dollars. It's just money. You could always get it back. I don't risk anything that I can't afford to lose. Okay. So I had a cannabis investment where I made, a lot of money, and I had another cannabis investment where I've lost a lot of money. But I made more money, way more money than I lost money. Okay. So but here's the common theme. I don't invest anything that's going to put me out on the streets. I don't invest more than I'm able to lose. So if it's $100,000 investment, I don't even think about the $100,000 investment until I start getting the money back. And I'm like, yo, I just, I'm getting this money back. But so when you're investing, don't bet your house. Don't bet your car. Don't bet your pants. This is not a gamble. It's a risk. It's a calculated risk. It's an educated risk, but it is a risk. You have to be willing to stretch yourself if you want a good return on investment. Okay. You can have a full-fledged real estate business generating passive income that you can pass down to your children. Has anybody heard of a dynasty legacy? See, that's the level of, that's the Rockefellers. Those are trusts, those dynasty trusts. Those are things that we haven't even seen. And those are things that we can start building right now from, yes, a lot of you have, from real estate investing. Real estate is the number one. You and your family are able to buy the block. There's opportunities in states across the country where you guys are able to buy the block and help revitalize some communities. And that's some things that I'm doing right now, right here, which I'm really excited about and I'm really excited to share with you. But what about you buying the block and you helping other families to be able to do the same? Because it's about each one, teach one. It's not about I win, you lose. No, it's about all of us winning. So when we have that mindset where if I win, you win, we all win, then that's what pushes our community forward. And that's how we need to be looking at things, is that it's a win-win for everybody. Yes. Teach your children how to become real estate investors. I told you what I did for my kids. So you could do the same thing. Did you know that you could purchase a property for your kids while they're in college, have it cash flow, put very little bit of money down? It's their investment, your investment, their investment. And by the time that they graduate, they could have a full-fledged real estate portfolio. Oh yeah, we're going to talk about that too. Yes. Yes. These are all, I'm not telling you anything that I haven't done for myself. Okay. These are the things that I've learned that I'm going to teach you. Your credit score is a 740, which puts you in a position at a 740. You getting a 740 credit score, it'll put you in a position to get these specialty programs. So even if you had a 671, even if you're at a 590, credit is not the boogeyman. I remember overhearing my parents talk when I was young about what they couldn't have, what they couldn't do because they had bad credit. I didn't know what it was. I just knew it was ruining our lives. And so I vowed that I would never have bad credit. But what happened to me? I started to make more money, got more problems, spent more money, living a life. But now here I am with more month than money. And I ended up with a 379 credit score. And I couldn't get to 800, even though I was teaching credit, I was doing everything right. I couldn't get to 800 until 10 years later because the bankruptcy was on my credit for 10 years. So as soon as that bankruptcy fell off, my credit score shot into the 800s. But you could still have a 740, 750, 760, probably even 800, depending on the breadth of your credit. There's an algorithm to your credit. And once you figure out, once I broke the code to how credit works, it was absolutely mind blowing. You can use your passive income. I can't wait to share this with you. Money you make in stocks to fund your real estate business. Yep. I'm excited. Even if you don't have money, if you have a job, you should have some real estate. Whether you go and get that $200-300 land in certain areas through land banks, you can get some tax deeds. There are things that you can do. Even if you don't have a job, sometimes you could purchase property. If you have some kind of income, you got to have some income. You could purchase property, but there are loans that you can get that if the property is cash flowing, then you don't even have to prove that you have income. That's a debt service DSCR loan. Debt service coverage ratio. Yes. People often say, well, I can't afford repairs. What if something happens? What if something breaks down? One of the things that a lot of people don't realize is you get a home warranty. But here's the thing about home warranties. I said right here, relationships matter. You can get typically for a house, I said for under $1,000, typically home warranties cost you about $500-600 a year. And let me tell you why relationships matter. I've sold thousands and thousands of properties, right? I have relationships with home warranty companies. And let me just give you an example. I had a client, she was in Hayward, California, and she had a property that she purchased and she had some plumbing problems. I didn't even know. She didn't even tell me. And so I was talking, she's my cousin's best friend. I was talking to my cousin and my cousin was telling me that, she was going through some things and that, she had some plumbing issues and she was stressed. Like she had to go to the psychologist because she was stressed the hell out. She was taking a shower at the gym. I mean, her house was just in a total disarray and she had called the home warranty company and they were responding, but they were just slow to respond. But because I've sold thousands and thousands of properties, I have relationships with the reps. All I did was call the reps up and I was like, hey, I have a client, blah, blah, blah. Here's where she is. and somebody was out there that day. So home warranty companies, they absolutely work, but having relationships matter even more. And when you're doing multiple business with them, they listen. So when Constance Carter talks, they listen. And that's no brag, but that's just the level of relationships, because I make sure that I give them business and they make sure that they take care of me and take care of my clients when my clients need something. So if you are afraid of repairs, you have a home warranty. You pay a small deductible. You pay $100 or $75. And this is what I do with my properties. It's what I do with my properties. I tell my tenants, call the AC went out on one of my properties in California. It's summer. It's 113 degrees out there, 105, 113. AC goes out. I say, call the home warranty. They put a whole new unit in my house, and all I paid was $100 deductible, a whole new unit. I was flipping a property before. I put a home warranty on the property that I was flipping, and the AC unit wasn't working. And so I called the home warranty company. They sent a contractor out there. The contractor said, oh, we can't get it to work. So the home warranty company gave me $2,500 to replace it. Guess what? I had somebody else go out there and fix it. And they were able to fix it, and I pocketed the $2,500. The same recording is it. No, I was kidding. But no, that really happened. So, home warranties are great. I've had home warranties replace water heaters. Water heater goes out, they replace a water heater. They replace the ACs. They take care of the electrical, the pools, the dishwasher, the stove, all of those things, the garbage disposals. So if something goes out with the property, that's something that you don't really have to worry about. You tell your tenants, call the home warranty company, or you call the home warranty company, you pay them a small deductible. Now that's covered. So now what's your excuse for not investing? Somebody said, which home warranty company do I use? Actually, I use First American and Old Republic are the two that I use the most. On one of my rental properties, I actually have American Home Shield. Okay. So let me tell you a story about one of my clients, Letitia. Single mom. She purchased her first condo with down payment assistance. Okay. So she didn't have a whole lot of money. 2 years, she took the equity as leverage and she bought a duplex. In 2 more years, she did the same thing. She took the equity out of the duplex and bought a triplex. And in 1 more year, she took the equity out of the triplex and bought a fourplex. So in 5 years, she had 10 units. These are things that you can do too. She didn't have a whole lot of money. She had a job, but she used the equity as leverage. Do things happen? Absolutely. Do things come up? Absolutely. But you should also have some type of extra reserve. And so these are the things that we're going to teach you. Okay. So these are the things Dr. B and I are going to teach you, which I'm super, super duper excited about, you guys. Let me tell you about the Smiths. This is actually the gentleman who bought the fourplex. He had multiple parcels of land. So there's a variety. He said, Constance, I want to have a plethora. I don't want to just have multi-units. I have multi-units. So he has a fourplex, he has some commercial property, they got single family property, and they have parcels of land. So your real estate portfolio should be whatever you want it to be. If you want to just have a bunch of multi-units, let's strategize and let's figure that out. If you want to have some land, if you want to have some single family homes, fourplexes, if you want to have some commercial properties, all those different things. This young lady lost her mom and husband within weeks of each other. Her mom had adopted, I think, 5 kids. She had 4 kids. And then she had 2 of her own. So her mom dies of cancer. It was, and that was a huge blow. So she had to take on her mom's kids, but she kind of knew her mom. He was sick. But her husband, he's not even 50. He has a massive heart attack 2 weeks after her mom dies. And she's stuck with 10 kids. 4 of her foster kids, 5 of her mom's, plus her daughter. And then she has an older daughter too. So she has 10 kids by herself. So I work with her. She increased her credit score after the bankruptcy. She had to file bankruptcy. So we got our credit together. She purchased land. She's in the process of purchasing a fourplex with her VA, and she's purchasing a hotel through her corporation. Those are the strategies. Yeah. Single mom, 10 kids, you guys. I actually went to high school with her. So it's important that, as you're building your real estate business, maybe you create partnerships, maybe you can leverage. And that's the great thing about having community, right? Is you can probably take somebody and partner with them. And now all the burden is not on you. But when you have a partner, it's important that you know how to properly vet your partnerships. Okay. So when you vet your partnerships, then you leverage your strengths and your weaknesses. So maybe their strength is one thing and your strength is something else, and you decide what your strength is going to be. But that's why you have ironclad agreements. Sometimes it may be a non-monetary investment. So for example, I've seen, oh my God, you guys, I know you guys have seen those no money down. Oh, I can have you do you can flip property, no money down. You've seen those infomercials. Let me tell you something. There's nothing free in life. So what these people were doing is they were going to these seminars and they were paying $50,000 to learn how to get property with no money down. What was happening is they had these investors and they were basically bird dogging for the investors. Okay. So they had these investors that were saying, okay, you go do all this work, do all this stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and put the money in, and I'm gonna give you a very minuscule piece of the pie for your work and your effort. Less than what they could have made in minimum wage, but they've done all this work, and this is their no money down. It wasn't even enough to tie their shoe with. But they ended up paying all this money, $50,000 to be a part of this. To now I flip property and I flip property with no money down, but I ain't make no money. And I put $50,000 down. So there is non-monetary investments. So this was a non-monetary investment for those people who did the no money down, right? Because they put all the work in and they got a little bit of ROI. But maybe you can partner with somebody and maybe they don't have the money, but they have the knowledge. So there, you got to look at people's strengths, but that's why you have to have ironclad agreements of how you do business. So let's think about that. Building your business entity. Okay. Why is it important? You guys understand why it's important to build a business entity when you're investing in real estate? Because an entity is separate. So you having a corporation, that is a separate entity from you. So say you have a property that you own, you are a sole proprietor, is your property in your name. Somebody goes over there and gets hurt. Now, everything that you own is up for grabs. They can come back and sue you. But if you have this property set up in an LLC or a corporation, then if somebody gets hurt, that is a separate entity that gets sued, and now you are not exposed. Your personal property can't get sued. Okay. Also, if you have your property set up in your entity, then that doesn't affect your personal debt to income ratio. Say you have to file bankruptcy on your corporation, that doesn't affect you personally. Okay. So an entity is important because it protects you. That's why they call it a limited liability corporation, because you are personally protected. And so as you're building your real estate portfolio, you want to make sure that you have certain things in your entity. But let me tell you this, here's what most people don't know. When you are investing in an LLC, especially when you're flipping property in an LLC versus a corporation, there are tax benefits. For example, the first time I invested in a flip, I formed an LLC. When I sold the property, I had a huge tax bill. The title company said, and this is what most people don't know, because most people are still flipping property in their name of their LLC. The title company said, Constance, did you know if you had your property in a corporation, we wouldn't have had to report to the IRS? What do you mean you wouldn't have gotten a 1099 back at the end of the year? There's no reporting requirements for corporations. So guess what? All the properties I flipped after that, I flipped in the name of my corporation. There was nothing that was reported to the IRS except for what I reported to them. Understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying that I didn't report the correct information, but I did not get a 1099. The title company didn't report the income to the IRS. That's what a lot of people don't know. And that's why people are still putting properties in their LLCs as opposed to their corporation. Yeah. Gyms. Somebody say bars. Somebody say bars. So it's important that you properly structure your entity so that you get you limit your tax liability for the least amount of exposure. So you know what, Sharonda, don't call me. She said sweet rocks. Oh my God. I don't like you no more. You can't join my group. So it's Sugar Roxy, Sugar Roxy. In a corporation. So how do you develop your wealth plan? Okay. Everybody is different. This is not a one size fits all solution. You might not want multi-units, a bunch of multi-units, even though multi-units might generate more passive income because you have more doors. Maybe you want a variety of different things. The important thing is that you understand everything and you know exactly what you want. You have a menu of items to, number one, get what you want, get the cash flow that you want to limit your liability, your tax liability, your exposure, but you know how to really, really properly manage them. Maybe you want all land. Maybe you just want to flip land. You can do that. Maybe you want to just flip single family homes. You can do that as well. The point is to get in the game, however you want to do it. Maybe you want to do it with maybe you got a couple $100 to spare. You just want to buy some land. Maybe you want to go through some land banks, tax deeds. We can do that. We can figure out what your wealth plan looks like. You just have to find the right investment and know how to analyze the opportunity to make sure the numbers are viable for you. How do you do that? You got to understand how to do that. You got to understand how to analyze the deal. I want to teach you all, Black people, how to fish. Okay? I want to teach you how to fish. This is a long-term game. I didn't get here overnight. Remember, I made some mistakes. I did some things wrong. I did some things right. So this is a long-term game. How many of you guys know that it's not a get-rich-quick scheme? This is not something that you can get rich quick. I need you to understand. I want to be able to give you the guidance. This is why you need a community of people, because now you have like-minded people that are there to encourage you, inspire you, motivate you, support you. You got camaraderie, you got motivation, you have like-mind, you have all of that inside. That's why I love the Black Business School and I love the Be One Nation, because we are all the same people that are going in the same direction. Now, if you could have somebody to the right and to the left of you that are there to encourage you, to inspire, to give you ideas, that's what it's about. I have the Net 7 Collective and I absolutely love it. And it's just like-minded women. But it's the great thing, the great way that I coach and mentor is I know I'm great at some things and I know I don't know everything. I'm gonna let you know that right now. How many of you guys know your strengths and your weaknesses? I know my strengths. I know my weaknesses. And so I allow other people to operate in their strengths. And so when you have a community of like-minded people that really want the best for everybody, maybe I got a deal that I want to share with everybody, or maybe I can help somebody else. And so that's the beautiful thing about having community, because it's not all on me. I'm not the only one. I put it back off on you so that we can help each other. That African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, you got to go together. And so having people who want the same things as you, that are going in the same direction, that look like you, that have the same goals, oh my gosh. Forget what they talking about. We're going to be a zero. We're not, because this is the revolution. Like Dr. B said, this is the Harlem Renaissance, the digital Harlem Renaissance that they cannot take away from us. They done fucked around and gave us the internet, y'all. And we got each other. So we get access to each other across the diaspora. We can gather. They ain't stopping us from gathering. This is the reason why they put all these roadblocks in our place, is because they knew that unity. 1955, J. Edgar Hoover said the biggest threat to America was Negro unity. They can't stop us. We are an unstoppable force together. And that's the reason why community is so important, because we can push each other further. I love this for us. So let me tell you about the Carters. In no relation to me. So I have a strategy. It's called the Don't Buy a House with Spouse strategy. Okay. Now, this is what I do. So again, all deals, all strategies aren't created equal. What I did with them is I said, okay, husband, you make X amount of money. You make X amount of money, wife. They both make enough money to stand on their own. And so what I tell them is, you don't buy a house with your wife. You buy your first house by yourself. You get your first time home buyer. You get the down payment assistance, right? She buys the first house. Now we're not interrupting each other's debt to income ratio. So he's buying a house as a first time home buyer. She's buying a house as a first time home buyer. Now we use the equity as leverage from this house to buy the next house. Right? So now they both have houses with low down payment. And now we want to buy our third house. So we're going to use the equity as leverage from the first house to buy the third house, and we're going to use that as a rental property, and we're going to buy this one as another owner occupied property, and we're going to have a low down payment over there, and we're going to use the same strategy over here. And we built their wealth portfolio that way. Don't buy a house with your spouse. Now, I've told people this before, and they're like, "You trying to bring the devil in the argument?" No. This is not about separating. This is about really working together so that you can build more properties together and you can get there faster. You can cover more territory. This is not about, because here's the thing. You set all this stuff up in a living trust anyway, and that's what I'm going to teach you to do. But you set all this stuff up in your business and your living trust, and now the beneficiary are you guys and your kids. So there's no separation of property. You're doing all of this stuff together if you're married. You're just able to get more property with less effort. Come on. When two or more on the same accord. Yes. All right. So let me tell you about Ken. This guy had a lot of money. Okay. He purchased a $500,000 home in cash based upon what his financial advisor told him. And I was like, why would you buy one house for $500,000 cash? The idea is to get multiple properties to reduce your tax liability, to generate a lot of passive income. Okay. So before I met him, he had already bought this property, paid cash for it, and it was sitting empty because he had to, kind of get it together to be rentable. So he held on to the property for 2 years, and the property increased by $100,000. So he had $100,000 in equity. So what he did is he refinanced the property, right? So he put $500,000 in. I had him take 90% out, loan to value. So in 2 years, he was able to pull out $540,000. So he put in 500, he took out 540,000. Then he put that 540 in cash that he now has. He purchased 5 properties, and he put $100,000 down on each property instead of having one property that he put $500,000 on. So he put 25% down on each of them. And then in 2 years, they were worth between 250. So basically in 2 years, he made $800,000 in equity with the $500,000 initial investment. So he had made $100,000 with the $500,000 just by having this one property. But then after we strategized and we purchased multiple properties, he ended up making, plus the cash flow, but he ended up netting $800,000 in equity and income. Okay. So sometimes financial advisors don't be telling you to do the right thing. They were just like, you just need to park your money somewhere. No, that's not the right strategy, not to get a good ROI. Okay. Is this Jamila? Yeah. This was a cool one because she got a property for $200,000 and it was valued at $250,000. So she got it under market because she was able to close fast. So she got this $200,000 property, a $250,000 property for $200, excuse me. Okay. In 6 months, she refinanced the property. So she already it was worth $250,000 and she pulled out 90%. So she put $200,000 in 6 months, she got $25,000 back. Understand what I'm saying? So she got $25,000 back. The money just sat in the property for 6 months, and she got a 12.5% return in less than a half a year. That's a pretty good ROI, right? In 6 months, she got 12.5% return in half of a year. Okay. She still owns the property. She continues to generate positive cash flow on that property. She had a little bit of money to pay to do that. So there's so many different ways. Again, it's not a one size fits all. It all depends on your financial situation. Maybe you ain't got $200,000 to put down. Maybe you ain't got 500. Maybe you need to borrow some money from your auntie or your grandmama. Maybe you need to get some down payment assistance. The point is, if you have income, you can purchase some property. It just depends on where you are. Everybody's not going to be able to do the $500,000 thing, and that's okay. So what would it feel like if you were to have $1 million real estate portfolio? How would that feel to you? Somebody said amazing. How would it feel to you to have $1 million real estate portfolio? Amazing. Yeah. Freeing, moving, accomplished, real good. Great. Deborah. I feel great, over the top, freedom, wonderful. Ooh, right like rain. Solomon, I love it. Freedom, awesome, free. Hella good. You from the Bay, Giante? Uh, generational wealth, definitely freedom, great. Yeah, all of those things. Imagine being able to get up and go when you want to go, or not have to be burdened by everyday life, or not have to wonder where your bills are coming from. Or if you ran into a problem or a snag, you're able to pull from what you have. Financial freedom is available for you. Abundance is available for everybody. Everybody is just not willing to take the journey to get there. But abundance is there for you. I'm telling you, Black people, it's our time. It really is our time. You just have to take the steps in order to get there. And there's many ways to get there, to that road to success. What is that way for you? And I want you to really think about it. And I want you to take a moment, um, because every successful person, and this is what I do, and these are the exercises that I practice every day. There's 5 steps to any type of success that you may want. There's 5 things that you got to do. Okay. The first thing you have to do is you have to think about it. You have to visualize in your mind. Okay. So you have to have a vision. The Bible says, without a vision, my people perish. So I want to give you about 30 seconds, and I want you to visualize what that would look like for you. Having $1 million real estate portfolio and just being financially free. What does that look like for you? I want you to close your eyes really quick, and I'm gonna give you 30 seconds. And I just want you to think about because if you could see it in your mind, then you can hold it in your hand and it could happen for you. So I'm gonna give you a moment just to think about what life will look like with that financial freedom. All right. So the second thing I want you to do, it's seared in your mind. And you could, if you have a piece of paper, or you could grab your phone and put it in your notes, or you could even put it here. I want you to write down the vision. The Bible says, write down the vision and make it plain. So you could share it with us, share your vision of what that looks like for you, or you could write it in your phone. But I want you to do that step 2, which is write down the vision and make it plain. I'm gonna give you a moment to write it down. All right. And then the third thing you need to do is you need to speak it, because life and death are in the power of the tongue. So every day, every morning, I want you to get into the habit of speaking what that thing looks like for you. So every day. And then you have to work it, because faith without works is dead. All right. So how do you get there? This is my TED Talk. It's called Google That Shit. You can Google it. You can do that. You can Google the information. You have a strategic roadmap and investment strategy that really works? I lost millions even being in the real estate business for a couple of years because I didn't have a true grasp. There's a way that you can do things that are extremely simple, and I believe in simplicity, but simplicity isn't always easy. Okay. You can do this. You know who this guy is? This is Grant Cardone. You could actually take his course, and you could pay him anywhere between $40,000 and $100,000 to take his course. Or you can do this. So, like I said in the beginning, Dr. Boyce and I came up with a real estate investment program called the B1 Real Estate Investment Strategies, or Real Estate Mastery, excuse me. And he and I are working together to bring to the B1 community a 12-month comprehensive course, because this is not a get rich quick scheme, but we really want to help. You know Dr. Boyce's heart, and hopefully you know my heart. We really want to help you to be able to get in position so that you can build your $1 million wealth portfolio. Okay. So this is the part, hopefully I brought you guys value. And so this is the part where I want to tell you what it is that we're going to bring to you, that we're going to offer to you, because I think when we talked about it, I got really excited about it. This is extremely sensational. That I really believe that's going to be a game changer. We're going to have interactive trainings. You're going to be able to ask questions. I'm going to mentor you. You're going to have challenges. I want you to involve your family. Okay. And you are going to purchase property. Yeah. I want you to purchase property. I don't want you to just be hearers of the word. You have to be doers of the word. So we want people who are going to actually be doing stuff, who are going to be doing the things that what it takes in order to build the wealth. So what you're going to learn, I'm going to show you the strategies to become a credit expert. Okay. You're going to learn about single family properties, multifamily properties, apartments, commercial buildings. I'm going to teach you everything you need to know about financing. You're going to learn about down payment assistance, grants, investor financing, repair loans, conventional loans, non-conventional loans, commercial loans. I'm going to show you how to form your business, properly form your business. We're going to learn how to create your entity so that you can reduce your exposure, your legal exposure and your tax liabilities. I'm going to show you how to write your contracts properly, how to have tax incentives. We're going to set up your living trust. That's huge. I'm going to show you negotiating strategies of how to negotiate with for sale by owners. You're going to learn how to fix and flip. BRRRs, buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and repeat. We're going to learn about wholesaling. You're going to learn about REITs. You're going to learn about international real estate. You're going to learn about rental arbitrage, Airbnbs, and different ways to do short-term rental and long-term rentals. All of that, 12 months, intensive training, simple, but not easy. You're going to learn it in a very simple, I believe simplicity is the key. Okay. So you're going to get a 12-month cohort. You're going to get mentorship from me and Dr. B. I'm going to give you financial tools that show you how to analyze deals, self-paced trainings, as well as live trainings. I'm going to show you how to do the contracts and forms. Okay. So all of this, typically $16,000. Now, remember in the beginning, I told you that I coach with high-level, high-performing people. This is what they pay me to do one-on-one coaching with them to help them establish their real estate portfolios. Okay. You're going to also get access to my Grow Your Money program. I have an online training program with over 30 trainings, and it's a plethora of trainings that really show you how to enhance your business. You're going to get the down payment assistant manual, deal analyzer, calculator, buy and hold analyzer, flipping calculators, all of those things. Okay. Now that's another $2,000 that you're going to get with that. Okay. Another $2,000 in value. Then Dr. B was like, okay, I want to get in on this. So Dr. B is throwing in some trainings. So you're going to get the stock market advanced topics. You're going to get stock market training. You're going to get the real estate 101. This is all within the Black Business School, Black Money 105, the Black Millionaire Real Estate Agent. You're going to get a stock investment program, his credit repair mastery, and Black Real Estate Weekend, which is another $5,000 in value. Now, listen, another thing that Dr. B, so I said, you know what? What's a way that if they don't have a whole lot of money, how can they generate passive income? So Boyce is going to come in maybe every other month and talk to you about what stock to invest in to build your stock portfolio. So he's going to come in and do a live training for you to be able to build your stock portfolio so that you can invest in real estate. Because remember when I talked about leverage, it's all about leverage. You need all of these things. So I want your real estate to help you invest in stock. I want your stock to be able to help you invest in real estate and all the other things that you need to do. So we're going to do that as well. So now this is so all of this, you get the 12 months, all of this is $24,000. And right now it's only $4,997. Okay. $4,997 for all of these things. So remember, you're going to get the credit, you're going to get the investment, financing, business, all of these things, plus Dr. B, plus me, mentorship, 12 months. We're in a group, we're in a cohort. We are inspiring each other, motivating. You can meet your next joint venture partner. But just for the next 48 hours, y'all, this $5,000 training program, and this is Dr. B. This is all because of Dr. Boyce. He's allowing you to take on all of this. We agreed for a price that I think that is extremely reasonable for everything that you're getting for only $2,997. Okay. So you're going to get the complete blueprint with Dr. Boyce and I. So not only you're getting that, you could pay monthly or you could pay the payment in full Of course, if you pay in full, you're going to get a deep discount. But you could pay $347 monthly. If you don't take this program within the next 48 hours, it's going to go back up to 5,000. So that's the webinar price. And let me just go to B1. Let me just show you the website, B1 Real Estate Mastery. Hopefully you can see this. So you go to b1realestatemastry.com. And this is where you can sign up. It's so much information, so much value. I'm so excited, and I'm excited about working with you and helping you to build that generational wealth. So you get this for 48 hours if you sign up. And so if you have any questions, I'm taking questions right now. I know people have had questions throughout, but you can see that I've helped thousands of people, and this for me to be able to coach you and mentor you. This is something that I normally charge $15,000 per person for, but this here for everything that you're getting, only $29.97. So I'm excited about it. And if you are interested, go to b1realestatemastry.com. We're going to take on questions right now as well. And you guys sign up. You have 48 hours to sign up, but go ahead and sign up now, because I want to welcome you guys to the B1 Real Estate Mastery, because I know that it's going to be life transformational for you. So anybody have questions? I know people had questions. So you said, you'll be getting money. Yeah, you're going to make the money back. I would say you're probably going to make the money back within the next 90 days, to be honest with you. Let me see any questions. I know you guys had your hands up. Were there questions? Because now it's time for Q&A. So ask me questions. You guys could go to the B1 Real Estate Mastery to join. Again, you're going to get access to this 12-month training program. You're going to get access to Dr. Boyce, his stock program. You're going to get my Grow Your Money program. You want to learn how you can purchase land for a few $100s. Definitely join the mastery. Let's see. Does this include a partner? You know what? I think depending on how the group goes, we can definitely, I'll show you, we'll definitely show you how to vet your partner, what the best way is to vet a partner. But I think it's best to work. I typically work with accountability partners because it helps you stay accountable, and it helps keep you on track. Again, I want you to be hearers of the word and not just doers of the word. First class starts in 2 weeks. So the first class starts on, it's going to be on a Tuesday, and I think the 13th. So the first class is going to start on the 13th. You do have a 14-day money back guarantee, so you know what you're getting. You already start off, there are 30 pre-recorded trainings already. So when you sign up tonight, you already have access to 33 pre-recorded trainings. Plus, we start our live trainings, and the first thing we're going to get on is your credit, because that's the foundation. That's the way to use leverage. Wealthy people don't use their own money when building wealth. They use credit. So I'm going to stop sharing, but I want to ask you guys if you have questions. Does bankruptcy get your student loans off, and do they check your stock portfolio when you go to court? Bankruptcy because I got money. No, actually, Chapter 7 actually personally protects you up to a certain amount. But Chapter 7 does not get rid of bankruptcy. Chapter 7 does not get rid of your student loans. It doesn't get rid of private loans or government loans. Okay. Here's how to get rid of your student loans. What some people do is they refinance their student loans or government loans into a personal loan, and then they file bankruptcy on that. So as long as they are government loans, you cannot get rid of them. But if you convert them to a private loan, then possibly you can. Okay. IRA can be used to invest. IRA can be used to invest. Absolutely. There's a way that you could actually invest in real estate and reduce your tax liability by investing with your IRA. What if your husband doesn't want anything to do with real estate because of a bad experience? Well, he probably had a bad experience because he didn't have the knowledge. And the difference is you're not just going to be taking anybody's advice. You're going to be learning. I'm teaching you how to fish. I'm not just gonna I'm not gonna do it for you. You're gonna learn. You're gonna learn how to negotiate. You're gonna learn the full everything about real estate from A to Z. So you are going to be a real estate expert. You're going to create your business. You're going to create your entities. You're going to make sure that you reduce your tax liabilities. You're going to have a whole wealth portfolio. If you do this with your daughter, yes, you pay separately. So if you want your daughter to be a part of it, she can. If you want her to have her own login, then yes, you will pay separately. Let's see. Thank you, Juvenile. Let me see who else. How can I take you up on some credit repair? Join this class. Student loans. Student loans, if you want to file bankruptcy on the student loans, you got to take them out of the government, take them away from being government loans and make them private loans or personal loans, and you can file bankruptcy on that. Okay, I'll check this thing. Do partial payments also qualify for the 48-hour time limit? Yeah, you can actually make the do the payment plan. There are messages. Can I do that as a Black woman-owned business? You absolutely can, Darlene. Yes, I'm glad you said that, Regina. If I have pre-existing class on Tuesdays, yes, you can watch the everything is going to be pre-recorded. So you'll be able, if you can't be live in the class, you can definitely absolutely watch the replays. Yep. Okay, let me get into I can't see where my chat is. Lord Jesus, I think, hold on. Okay, now I can go to the chat. Oh, there's a bunch of questions in here. Let's see. Here's a Q&A. All right. Okay. Barbara said, get with D1. He wants to buy the block. Okay, cool. When you file bankruptcy, do you get the student loans off? I already answered that. Where can you find my books? You can find my books on Amazon.com. Look for Constance Carter. Can your company buy, sell homes in New York? Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. How do we buy the land? Auctions. Those will be land banks. There are crooked racist inspectors helping towns steal real estate from Black elders in small towns in the South. Been trying to help Black people not get pushed out by young white people to become perpetual renters. Actually, I'm going through that right now with a property that I'm buying where we have predators that are trying to get elderly people's homes. Buying the land or property is this FHA program. What are qualifications for purchasing land for $200? You don't need an FHA loan. You just need cash, and that will be a land bank. How do you do Airbnb? I'm going to show you how to do that inside the training. Yeah, all of that. I actually have Airbnbs, a couple of Airbnbs. I'm a trader and do not have a W-2 job. I have 200K. Can you please explain the DSCR loan and what the qualifications are? So the DSCR loan, the debt service coverage ratio loan, you don't have to have a job. You just have to have, you do have to have at least 25% to put down on the DSCR loan. Okay. And the property that you purchase, it has to be giving you a income, a cash flow of at least 50%, 150% of the payment, right? So if the payment is $3,000, then you need to be getting $5,500 in cash flow that's going to the property that can cover the debt of the property, if that makes sense. And if you do that, you don't have to show your income. So that's what the DSCR loan is. How does credit work? You will learn all of that in the class. I truly need to get your book or any information you're willing to relay to me to help my siblings, children get my books, but join the training. Yeah, this is going to definitely help all of you with all of that. Absolutely. So join the training. Again, 48 hours. Home warranty that I use Old Republic Home Warranty, First American Home Warranty. What's your opinion on arbitrage? It depends on the area. You have some areas that are really working against short-term rentals because of lobbyists from hotels, and hotels are trying to put short-term arbitrage out of business because they're competing. And so it just depends. And that's the reason why you have to know where it is that you're buying so that you know that you're making the best investment. And is a short-term arbitrage going to work for what you're trying to do? I think shared housing is great. And that's one of the things that I teach when I'm teaching you how to, especially make your kids investor, is the shared housing piece. But there are people there's another form of shared housing where people are actually splitting them up and making 3 times the amount by doing that. Let's see. Have you infused travel with your real estate plans? I don't know what you mean by that, but we are going to be teaching you about international real estate. So you'll have that information as well. Can you qualify for a mortgage closing credit program like the Home Possible if you're a homeowner. Home Possible loans is for people who don't currently own homes. So those are down payment assistance for people who don't currently own homes. You don't necessarily have to be a first-time home buyer. You just can't currently own a home for the Home Possible loan. LLCs versus corporations. What type of corporation would you not get a 1099? That's an S corp. Yeah, a corporation period, but an S corp is what you want because that's pass through, and that's typically for your smaller businesses. You don't really want a C corp unless you have a large corporation. Okay. I'm getting married next year in August. My wife to be purchased her home in 2020. Should we refinance to put my name on it or purchase a multi-unit? Yeah, no. Put the property in a living trust and then purchase another property in your name. You have both properties in living trust, so now both of you guys are the beneficiary. So you guys both have access to it, but you don't want to put your name on it because then now you're messing up your debt to income ratio for you to buy your next property. So no, you don't want to refinance, put your name on it. Is there a one-on-one component to the program? Yes, there actually is a one-on-one component, but that is something that we haven't rolled out yet. And so that is actually, we'll be talking about that, and there's going to be a wait list for that program coming up. So thank you for asking that, Zakia. How have you dealt with freeloader tenants? Just through the law. I mean, unless you want to put hands on them, but that's not going to really help. So you're going to have to just deal with the law, and it depends. And that's another reason why you need to make sure you know where you're purchasing, because some properties are very tenant strong, and it's hard to evict, like LA County. Like I have clients who have properties in LA County, and I'm telling them to just sell them all because getting the tenants out is just almost impossible. Are there live Zoom trainings, or is this training do you do on your own? This is all live, and it'll all be available via recording at a different time. I'm retired. Would I be eligible to buy property with my retirement income? Absolutely, yes. In fact, if you have retirement income and it's not taxed, we can actually add it up. We can add an extra percentage onto your non-taxable income to help you qualify for more. So yeah, we call it grossing it up. Do partial payments qualify for the 48 hours as well? Yes, you actually can do the payment plan, and that'll get you in the class. And if you want to just purchase the whole thing at, a little bit later, you certainly can. But at minimum, you guys sign up for the monthly payment so that you can at least get registered in the class today. If I want to do this with my mom who lives in a different house, will we be able to join together? You would have to have separate logins, you and your mom, but you most certainly, this is what I do want you to do. I think is important as you share the information. So both of you wouldn't be able to have different logins, but I do want you to share. So if you get on this, I need you to share this with your family. This is not intended for you to keep to yourself. So I'm glad you said that. I would love for everybody to buy separately, but this is information that you need to share with everybody in your family because we are trying to change the community. Okay. How much is it normally if I sign up tomorrow? Payday is tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be the same. You have the same deal for the next 48 hours. Okay. I have tax issues that need to be resolved. Is there help with that? Well, if you have tax issues, say that you are on a payment plan, you can still purchase a property. I'm not a CPA, so I can't really talk to you about tax issues, but I know how banks look at taxes. And as long as you are making a payment, if you make 3 consecutive payments, and you can qualify for a property, just negotiate the lowest payment possible. Okay. Should you start real estate in your own backyard, or should you be open to venture out? It depends on you. And this is why this is not a one size fits all. There's certain things that I like to do. I like to have certain property in my area just so I can have eyes on it. But there's other property that I don't mind purchasing in other areas. So it just depends on what you have the appetite for. Okay. August 13th, the course starts. What time and how often will it be in the meeting? So the courses will be at the same time as now. They'll be about 8 or 8:30 on Tuesdays, and they will be every other week. Okay. For a year. What is your advice on purchasing property in high market region? It is hard with high prices, with high rates. I mean, no, it's all the same. So I wouldn't say anything is hard. It's just what is your appetite? What can you qualify for? So nothing is hard. It's all based upon your unique situation. So we'd have to look at your situation and see what that looks like. But let me just tell you this. Everybody is so up in arms about these interest rates. These interest rates are normal interest rates. Don't look so much at interest rates, because sometimes interest rates could be simply a $50 difference in your payment. people be so caught up in interest rates, and the interest rates don't even be that big of a deal. So I want you to get that out of your mind. And with interest rates, but the Federal Reserve just said they were cutting interest rates, so now is absolutely the time to get in position to buy. Can this business be wholly while living abroad temporarily? Yep. Thanks for the information. I'm disabled and can't afford to learn how to better me and my kids' life. Is there a way I can learn this for free on the internet? Sure, there's information out there. You just wouldn't get the same comprehensive guidance that you would get from me and the Black Business School, nor will you get the community. But there's information out there. Absolutely. You could GTS, Google that shit. Do you have a credit repair training as opposed to the entire package? There is credit repair training on here. Yes. How in-depth is the trust education you provide? We go through trust. I don't, I'm not an attorney, but I can certainly tell you, the basics. We'll talk about the basics of a trust and how it's important and how you can get a trust, what the important things to look out for a living trust. And then I'll show you how to get a trust for very inexpensive. I'm getting married next year in August. My wife to be purchased her home. I think we already answered that. Can we make a down payment within 48 hours and lock in the $29.97 and pay the remainder within 30 days? I don't know, Chanel. Is that a possibility? Can we make a down payment within 48 hours and lock in the $29.97, then pay the remainder within 30 days? I don't know. That's a cool
Yes,
question from
actually,
Chanel.
yes, actually, there is an option that you can upgrade your membership. Just reach out to our support team, and they will be glad to help you pay off your membership. Within 30 days, we can definitely extend it then, and we can certainly work with you. So feel free to email our support team, support@theblackbusinessschool.com when you're ready to upgrade.
Beautiful. Can programs be shared within the same household? You only get one login. Okay. But I definitely want you to share the information with everybody in your family. I have equity in the home left to me. I want to pull and invest in this program. How can I start this process? How long does it take? Thank you for taking my question. It takes a little bit to take out the equity depending on what type of loan you get. Are you going to get a home equity line of credit? Are you going to refinance your whole property? It all depends. You could probably, if you wanted to invest, if you wanted to just do the monthly payments to start out, you can do that just to hold your spot to get this price. I would definitely do that if you have the 347, I think it is. I would definitely recommend doing that. And then Chanel said that we can work with you to do the remainder, and we can kind of talk about how to pull equity out. And there's other options. There's other financing options that we have available as well. So we have options for you. Okay. Are you on hand with the trust setup? Are you on hand with the trust setup? You can definitely help with the trust setup. What did you do wrong ultimately to have to file bankruptcy? I had too much bills. I was overextended. Do you need to sell all of your stock to buy a home? Absolutely not. You just need to sell enough to be able to have a down payment. If I pay the 347 to get locked in, can I just pay the full balance before the next payment is due to pay the 29.97? And Chanel just said yes. Ray Barlow, how much is it monthly if I sign up tomorrow? Payday is tomorrow. What was that, 347? The DSCR is not a government loan, Barbara. Do you have the home warranty cost exceeds the price of the repairs? Do you find that the home? No, I don't. I mean, the home warranty, you're paying $500-600 a year, and then you're paying $100 deductible. And so maybe the repairs might be $25, but it goes up and down, right? So sometimes you might have something that may not be that much, but typically it's going to be, something that costs more than the deductible. How long is the training? It's 1 year. What time and how often is the class? Starting August 13th. It starts at 8 and it's going to be bi-weekly. I close all the old businesses and I'm a real estate investor, so I want to restructure a new Black woman-owned business. I will need to rebuild my cash flow up. I've looked like a loss over 700K reasonably. So what about that new tax paperwork that we have to file with businesses? Oh, you're talking about the CTA, the Corporate Transparency Act. You just go to CTA and you have to file the CTA the Corporate Transparency Act. Google that. So everybody who has an LLC, if you formed an LLC in 2024, you got to make sure that you file the CTA paperwork. Otherwise, the government could fine you $500 per day. Okay. Can you put a property in a trust if there's a HELOC on it? You can put a property in a trust if there's a mortgage on a HELOC. It doesn't matter. Absolutely. How can we hire you as an agent? I am not working in that capacity, but I would certainly help direct you. Does a program teach tax liens? Yes, and yes. On SSDI, my husband and I own a multifamily now with a mortgage. What is the best way to fix it? Because it's in our name. It depends. I mean, you could pull an equity line of credit out to fix it. It just all depends. Do we still need a lawyer if you help us with the trust? No. If I start with payment plan because I'm traveling, yes. talk to Chanel. You can definitely start with the payment plan and convert it. When you take out equity, do you mean cash out or refi or HELOC? It depends. Depends on your situation. It could be either of those. Are real estate attorneys better than agents when purchasing property? Not necessarily, because they're just there looking at the law. Agents are looking a lot more. A real estate attorney is not going to help you find the house and disclosures and inspections and all that stuff. It's trading 1 hour or 2 hours every other Tuesday. Um, it'll be between 1 and 2 hours. We're just gonna let the spirit move us, but it's 1 hour. We'll try to keep it at 1 hour. But if you guys have questions, and it may be a little bit more in depth, and some people may need to stay on a little bit longer. The first month is just gonna be just straight learning, and then we're gonna get to a point where we're gonna be able to do, Q&As, deal analysis, and things like that. So it's gonna be. I really, really, really want you to start working, and start purchasing. Again, I don't want you just to be hearers of the word. I want you to be doers of the word. So I want to get you in a position where you're now becoming investors. Okay. You also cover purchasing commercial property. Yes, that was in the list. I'm looking forward to this training. Just signed up. Yay, Douglas. Congratulations. Congratulations, Douglas. You are now a part of the family of the real estate family. The B1 real estate family. What is a HELOC? It's a home equity line of credit. It's like a revolving line of credit where you pull equity out of your property and you can use it for various things. Okay. That's all the questions I have in the Q&A. Let me look. I have an LLC since 2023, but I've never done anything with it still. I have to file. Yep. You still have to file the corporate transparency docs, but they're not going to fine you $500 per day until if you open it before 2024. Okay. Thank you, Keith Patillo. He said he's so proud of me tonight. Love you, my sister. You are the best. Net 7 in the house. I love it. I love you guys. Any other questions? You will learn to purchase in different states. Yes, Ronisha. The sessions are scheduled for 90 minutes. Go sign up. Go to B1realestateMastery.com. The link is in the comments. B1 Real. Anybody else sign up? I want to congratulate you all for signing up and taking this step to invest in yourself. So I want to shout you out if you were able to sign up, and welcome you to the family. Let's see. Who else? Who else? Who else? Congratulations. Welcome aboard. Who was that? Will I be able to forward this recording to my partner? I believe so. Let's see. Ari, yes. Home warranty companies, First American and Home Republic. I believe this will be available. I'm pretty sure. Will we learn the skill to search for properties? You absolutely will. Not only to search for the property, but you're also going to learn how to analyze it and how to make sure that it's how to cash flow from the property, how to see what the rental cost is going to be, how to see what your outgoing expenses are going to be, to see what if it's a great deal. So you're going to really understand how to analyze the deal. Yep. How is this compared to the Net 7 program? The Net 7 program is a 12-week cohort where I work with women only. And we not only talk about real estate, but we talk about various ways that you can build your net worth. $29.97 is upfront, $347 per month for how many months? No, $29.97 is the whole amount. So $2,997, that's the pay in full amount. Okay. $347, if you choose to do the monthly payment, it's $347 per month for 12 months. Okay, so you're going to pay a little bit more if you decide to do the $347. When will we incorporate learning about stock? So we're going to bring Dr. B in about six weeks, and we're going to learn about stock, and that's going to be live. But don't forget, part of the bonuses is you're going to get some of his stock programs as well. So I don't want to glaze over that. You guys will be getting some of Dr. Boyce's stock program. So you'll have that information inside where you could start today learning day one, the stock. So you are very welcome. Woman veteran, are there any VA loan tricks taught for purchasing commercial property? Not really commercial property. You know, the biggest thing is the 1 to 4 units. There are, as a veteran, there are programs, but not necessarily like your single family VA loan for your owner occupied loan, because really VA loans are for owner occupants. And so that's the reason why you get such a great deal. But there are other programs for veteran, especially when you're talking about businesses, because when you're talking about commercial, you're talking about more business loans. And so we are going to cover business loans. So you will see that in there as well. Let me see. Who else? We don't have any more questions? Zoom, it's going to be Zoom.